Hey y'all, late night straight talk. So earlier this week, I called one of my close friends and I was telling her about some different things going on in my life. And she said, well, how is that happening? And where did this come from? And be careful because you got a prophecy before about this and this and this, and then this happened, right? And what she said was true. It's valid, right? But God is still God. So I'm reminded of a message that my favorite pastor preached, Release Regret. And she probably preached it in like 2008 or 2009. But it was so impactful to me. And one of the things that she said is sometimes we sit and we wonder and we're like, what if I would have turned left instead of turning right? And, what if I would have moved to New York instead of moving to Georgia? And, what if I would have bought this house and instead of buying that house? And what if I would have took the promotion at that job instead of taking the promotion at this job? And she said the plans, the actions of men do not override what God has. So if the actions of man can change the plans of God, then God is not God. Now, one will reflect and say, maybe you should be quiet. Maybe you should stop telling your business. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do that. All these thoughts come, right? But the truth of the matter is God is still God. And I still believe the prophecy. Because even if certain parts of it did not come to pass, that does not mean the totality of it is not coming. Why? Because God does not override the will of a man. So if God told me something concerning another person and that person did not align with what God said, the plan doesn't change, the person changes. And so reflecting on that conversation, I was like, you feel away. But then God quickly comes and reminds me that he's still God. And what he said, he said. And at the end of the day, I know the things that he has told me and I know the things that he has put inside of me. And I received the words of the Lord concerning my life over the last several years. I received them. And not only did I receive them, but I activated them in my heart, my mind, and my spirit, and I trust God. It may not happen the way you think it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And it may not happen in the timing that you think it's going to happen in, but it's going to happen. So that's just my little rant for this evening, my little straight talk on this beautiful Saturday evening. Just to encourage you, there's a quote that says a lot can happen in a year. And you can finally hear the yes instead of the no. And God is saying yes to you for some things in your life. And God is saying yes to me for some things in my life. And it's happening quicker than immediately and faster than right now. And I'm not moved by what man has to say.